Button. Good morning, everybody. Good to see you all. It looks like my assistant instructor, Yoel, is not here yet. So that's fine. We'll go ahead and get started without him. And then if he shows up, we'll interview him for our. Oh, look, there he is. Let's all clap when he walks in, okay? You guys ready? There he is, our assistant instructor, Yoel Hernandez. Hello, how are you, sir?
Hey Eric, sorry, I was having some technical issues.
It's okay. You don't have to be sorry. We were also happy to see you. We all wanted to give you a standing ovation. Is that okay?
Yes, thank you. I
Of
appreciate it.
course. Yeah. Well, you have an important job today, so we're happy to have you here. How's your morning going, other than your technical issues?
It was going pretty good actually. We got some extra sleep,
That's
so
good. Did you go to bed earlier? Did you wake
it's
up
been pretty
earlier?
smooth.
What's that?
Well, so they canceled their class, so
Oh,
bittersweet moment for everyone, I guess.
a bittersweet moment because today is canceled her class. Why was it bittersweet? What was bitter about it?
Because we were just so excited to go to finance, but we all got to sleep a little more.
So that was what was sweet about it. You got to sleep a little bit longer.
Yes,
I hear you. Well, I'm glad you got a chance to rest. So now you guys are very energized for my class, right?
of course, always.
Always, yeah. Well, I'm so glad to see that. All right, Mr. Yoel, why don't you start off by telling us a little bit about yourself? Where are you from?
Sure. So I was born in Mexico. I came when I was a year and a half. Um, I'm a first generation immigrant, obviously,
Hmm.
and I'm the first one in my family to go to college. And I'm also I'm the oldest sibling out of four.
Wow. So you're a lot of firsts in your life.
Yes, I am.
First generation immigrant, first to go to college, and the firstborn.
Yes,
Wow, good for
first
you.
is the best.
First is the best. All right, excellent. And why did you join Europe?
So I before Europe, I was going to Baruch College,
Hmm.
but it wasn't what I expected it to be. So like kind of wasn't for me. So I kind of was looking for a different route. And I have a friend who had already done the Euro program
Hmm.
and she's living swell. So I was like, you know what? I'll give the program a go.
She's
So,
living swell. Can you please tell us more about how she's living? I'm curious.
so after her internship, she got converted to full time at the company she was interning at. And after a year, she got transferred to Tennessee, and like we're paying for her apartment and everything.
Wow.
And now she's traveling and yeah,
Is that your
doing all that
goal?
good
Is that
stuff.
your goal, Yoel? Yeah, I know. I want to do the program now. Gosh, am I too old? What's the cutoff? 25? Just
I
missed
don't
it.
know.
Just a couple years. Okay, so she got converted and she moved to Tennessee, and now she's traveling and has a great job, huh?
Yes.
Awesome. Is that what you want to do, Yoel? You want to move to Tennessee as well? Or are you happy in New York?
I was actually thinking about moving to Tennessee,
Hmm.
like when like at the beginning of the year
Cool.
with her, just because it's different.
Yeah.
But I'm happy in New York for right now.
Yeah, I hear you, man. There's pros and cons everywhere that you live, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So, what is a fun or interesting fact about you?
Um, I guess a fun or interesting fact would be that when I was in high school, I used to play saxophone
Okay.
from like entirety of high school. I was stuck in band, so I learned how to play all types of saxophone.
Wow. So we have a lot of very talented musicians in this crew. I must say, you guys could start your own band. We got Yoel on the saxophone. So love it. So you must have been pretty good then.
I was good. We went to the Crane School of Music to perform.
Cool.
Like we had a whole setup, and I
That's
was in the jazz band.
sure. Very cool. Do you like jazz music?
Um, Honestly, I just joined jazz music because my friends were doing it, but
Hmm.
after like the first year, it was pretty fun. So
That's
I
awesome.
learned to love it,
Yeah,
like it at least.
totally. I feel like jazz is like an acquired taste of music. Like at first you're like, it all kind of sounds the same, but then after like you really get into it, you're like, wow, this is like a really complex and beautiful form of music, particularly live. Seeing jazz music live is really a special experience, and something that I really miss about living in a COVID world. I used to go to this place called Paris Blues in Harlem. The place was amazing, awesome jazz every single night. Yeah, I miss going there. So maybe one day I'll see you there, Yoel, playing a gig. What do you think?
Maybe not anymore. Maybe if you asked me like 4 years ago, I would have agreed. But
You're retired.
yeah, I'm retired. My prime years are over.
Your prime years in your early 20s or however old you are.
Yeah, I was like 16, 17,
Sure.
But
Yeah.
now I'm old, so.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So, what is a question that you want to pose to our group this morning for a warm up question, Yoel?
Well, it was more for yesterday since
Mhm.
we were having our interviews, but I guess I could still ask it today, which was, if you could redo your interview, what would you do better?
Oh, great. I love that. And as you put in the chat box, your answer, Yoel, you've had 24 hours now to think about it. What would you redo in your interview?
I would actually go because Malik forgot about me yesterday. So I only got a chance to go once. But I guess on my behalf, just take more of what the feedback that I got. So um, he was telling me to put it more in like a story format. So like always try to be talking in a story format, which was something I honestly had never heard of in the past. And I would like to like see how it worked if I did it more. So that's something I would have done more.
Yeah, yeah. And don't blame Malik. That was my fault. I was the one that was assigning people to rooms. So
Oh,
I apologize. You
wow.
can be mad at me. I promise it's okay.
No, it's okay. I can't be mad at you, Eric.
Why not?
You're my coach. If I get mad at
True.
you, who am I? Who's gonna coach me?
Exactly. You got a good point. I guess I kind of got you cornered there, but that was my fault.
Yeah.
That was incredibly stressful to try to arrange all the rooms and who went and who didn't, and make sure someone didn't go with the same person twice. And
No, yeah, definitely.
yeah, but
Hey,
anytime
so
anytime you want to practice an interview, well, I give you I'm at your disposal anytime you want it. You just email me. I want to practice interviewing, and we'll make it happen. All right, since you only got one.
All right, I'll take you up on that
All
sometime
right,
soon.
sounds great. All right, so let's look at the comments. I love yours, Yoel. Expanding, you said putting your answers more into a story form. Randy, you said expanding on your strengths and weaknesses. Why do you think that that's so important?
so the first person I went with, so I went twice actually.
Hmm.
So the first person I went with, he so when I touched on my strengths, it was kind of like a hop from a strength to a weakness, and then it wasn't enough time for him to kind of understand what my strength was, and I didn't really give too many examples. So when I went again, I kind of did that, and then it went really well. So just doing that initially.
That sounds great. Yeah, I think having those things like really dialed in is so important. And I also think there's like weird questions too, like what is your strength, what is your weakness? Because it's like, well, I don't know. Remember ever see that episode of The Office where it's like my weaknesses are my strength. I care too much. I I love too hard, and sometimes I sing in the shower or something like that. That was it's always a hard question. Brian, you said buy a ring light. Yeah, it's important to have good, lighting. I loved your confidence, Sophia. More eye contact. Other than that, I killed it. They were offering you jobs left and right. They asked you to be the CEO of the company. Awesome. Um, Dondre, you said slow down. Dondre, do you get nervous in interviews, like talk faster? Because that's something I struggle with. Is that something you struggle with, Dondre?
Can you hear me?
We can.
Okay, so I think what it was is that I was just in my head. So I'm like, what am I gonna say? And so it caused me to talk faster. So yeah, I tend to get nervous. Even now I'm a little nervous. You put me on the spot.
Well, you should be nervous because this is a high pressure situation. Just kidding. No, that's totally normal to be nervous in an interview. I mean, if you're not, that's a little strange. So yeah, be prepared for the questions. Out of curiosity, in the chat box, what were some of the questions that you guys got in your interviews yesterday? I'd be curious to hear. And
uh,
yes, Dondre, those if you want a practice interview with me, you're always welcome to just send me a message and we make that happen. Yeah, Alex, what were you gonna share?
I got like, if money was, he said, if money was not an object, what would you be doing?
Mm. And what did you answer to that one? That's a pretty loaded question.
I got like the toughest questions, and I think it's because like it's my own fault. Like obviously I wrote it down and everything. I just didn't know. I didn't realize that it was gonna go down. It was just like I thought it was gonna be normal MMK. And I went into the first interview and I was just like, I was taking way too long to answer my questions because like I don't know. I feel like I thrive on the like person to person pressure. And like when I'm just like in my room, I'm like, I'm not ready to answer a question like that. Like
Sure.
it takes way too long for me to think, and like it's crazy. And then also you put us in like a breakout like room altogether, like away from like you and Malik. I think that was a negative because so many people were talking in there and they were just saying nonsense. And then I go into an interview with some guy who's a super hardo and like
Yeah.
he's like, "Oh, you don't have your resume up?" Like, what the, and I'm like, "Oh my god!" And like I just came out of like a room where like everybody was like talking, chatting, like laughing, having a good time, and this guy's like staring me in the eye. I'm like, "Holy fuck, man!" Like.
Right.
Yeah, it caught me off guard. And when he said, like, what do you want to do? Like, I wish I said something. Like, I honestly, after the fact, I'm wishing I said like different things for everything I said. And it's really annoying me, but it's whatever.
Well, that's why it's a mock interview, right? This is not actually a job. So you do this, you struggle through it. And I agree with you, Alex. There's a lot of feedback we got yesterday on how to make that better. Like one thing that happened to me was I put all the interviewees into a room, and like we told all of them show up at 8:50. Okay, that way we can kind of give you like a brief of what's going to happen, and then we'll put you in the rooms. And by 9 o'clock, we can start putting students in the room with you. And people showed up at 9 o'clock, 9:05, 9:10, 9:20, and then like I'm trying to assign rooms, and people are trying to ask me questions, and they're coming back to the main room. They're bothering Malik. It's a lot to do that virtually. Was a lot. Definitely next time we're gonna have like you guys just in the main room with me and Malik, just a debrief and chat. We're not gonna do any more student holding rooms because that was just too complicated. But yeah, thank you for the feedback, Alex. And yeah, it's totally normal to feel like, gosh, I did not do as well as I should have done. But this was a practice. Rinish?
I was just gonna ask you to adding on to that. Would you teach again?
Would I teach again?
Project management.
What do you mean?
It was the reason why they gave you the role.
I don't know what you're asking.
I said it was the reason why they gave you the role. You teach project management.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, you're exactly right. Just they see my skills and my abilities. So I did not do enough planning, and my execution faltered as a result of that. So
good. A lot of scope creep.
A lot of scope creep was absolutely a lot of scope creep. All right, and Sophia, you got a tough question. How'd you answer that one? That's a good one.
Yeah, I talked about a time I was working at a co-op, and we had a return customer who always gave everybody a hard time. And so I just talked about one specific time where she made me cry, and I went in the back and got my manager and just like helped and had the manager help to diffuse the situation. And yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah, that sounds excellent. So you did the right thing for sure. And last comment, Mr. Tyrell, where do you see yourself in 2 to 3 years?
This was like a hard question for me because like I feel like 5 years is pretty broad. We got a lot of time. 2 to 3 is really like not a lot of time. A lot can happen. So I said like just living in the city, focus on the internship. That's really it.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Awesome. Thanks, Tyrell. All right. I want to share with you guys some quick announcements. You should have all received the email from Will yesterday. There is no class tomorrow. All right. So don't come to my Zoom link at 9 o'clock tomorrow. I mean, you're welcome to, but I'm not going to be there. All right. You're welcome to come and just hang out, but I will not be teaching a class tomorrow at 9. There are no classes. Obviously, Thursday is Thanksgiving, so there's no class on Thursday. And then Friday's also a day off. So this is our last time that we're going to see each other between now and Monday. So with that being said, I did not think it made a whole lot of sense to introduce a brand new concept to all of us because honestly what's going to happen is next week on Monday, I'm going to say, hey, what did we talk about on Tuesday of last week? And you're gonna say, I ate so much turkey and so much rice and beans and so much pie. Like I have no idea what we talked about last week on Tuesday. So today's class will be a little bit different. It'll be a little bit shortened, but we're gonna talk about project managing our life. All right. I know that might sound like, wait, how do you do that? And I want to share with you guys a really cool tool. We're gonna spend a few minutes discussing it, and then we'll call it a class and get started on our break. So how many of you guys are familiar with the company Salesforce? They have a big office in Bryant Park. They're a pretty large company. They were founded in 1999 by a man named Mark Benioff. Mark Benioff was the founder of Salesforce. They're a CRM company, growing very quickly. And curiously enough, before I got involved with Year Up, I was working for a company called the Mind Gym. That's how I got to know Rachel. She and I were colleagues there, and Salesforce was one of our clients. So I've been to a lot of their offices. I've worked with a lot of their staff, and Year Up is also a partner of Salesforce. So they're a great company. They do really good work, and they have this this tool called the V2MOM. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with that. If you're not, that's okay. But it's a management tool they use as opposed to KPIs and deliverables. They use this. SMART goals is a more traditional way too of setting goals. They do what's called a V2MOM, and there's actually a way you can utilize a V2MOM in your life, which is great. So what I'm going to do is I have a very short video. It's about 10 minutes long. Let me go ahead and pull it up. You guys can watch the video. We're going to put it into practice, and then we're going to go from there. So let me go ahead and copy and paste. So it's 10:47. Come back at 10:57, and we'll put it to practice. All right. All right. It is 10:57. Is Assistant Instructor Hernandez here?
Of course I am.
I need some of your skills and magic for this next exercise. Are you willing to take on the challenge? I need you to
Sure.
I need you to be the DJ and find some thinking music for this exercise.
Thinking music?
Yeah, music that you think that helps you think better.
Okay.
So you think about the thinking music for a minute, and not Jeopardy music, more like deep focus, like lo-fi, something like that. Yeah, Mario Kart.
I got you.
That causes me stress. Think about Mario Kart playing in the background. All right. So V2MOM, vision, values, methods, obstacles, measures. So what I want us to do, is 6 weeks until 2021. I want you to get a piece of paper out or do on your computer, whatever is easier. I want you to write down one goal you have for yourself. All right. Could be professional, could be personal, or it could be physical. So professional could be what this one is here about getting a job. Personal could be something like I want to spend more time with my friends and my family, or physical, like I want to get in better shape, or I want to run a half marathon, whatever. Now look at these two examples. The bad example is I want to get a job. Well, that's not a very good example because you could go to McDonald's down the street right now and get a job by it and start working this weekend. So instead you say, I want to start my career at a Fortune 500 earning at least a 40K a year annual salary. That's a lot better than just, I want to get a job. So Yoel, when you're ready with the thinking music, we're going to play 1 minute of thinking music and give you guys a chance to write down what is your vision. Are you ready, sir?
Let me do my best, but thinking music is not my forte, I will have to say.
Okay. We trust your judgment. He's assistant instructor / DJ.
You guys can think to like rap and stuff, right?
Sure.
All right. Wait, how do you just want to play it and like?
Yeah, if you play on your
you guys are
computer,
listening to my AirPod?
No, if you play on your computer and then I believe you hit more and you hit share audio. I think you hit share audio. Did you do this as an operations manager before?
Yeah, but I have to share my screen. That's the
Okay.
thing.
All right, here we go. Stop sharing my screen. I'll put the prompt in here in the chat.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
There you go.
Well, I was not expecting this.
So once the music starts, then you have 1 minute.
Let me know if you guys can't think to this. Then I'll change the song. But I can think to this. I hope you guys can think to this.
Oh, we can't hear it yet. You gotta hit the
Well,
button.
it's in your headphones.
Oh,
bro.
really?
Yeah, it says like
Oh, yeah,
share
I do have
share
headphones.
computer audio.
Yeah, I am sharing computer sound.
Is your volume turned up?
You guys can't hear it?
Nope.
It's connected to your headphones.
Oh, damn. Okay. Give me a second, guys.
Sorry, I told you just put him on the spot for all of this. There we go.
Yeah, a little bit.
But you see the top right there, how it has the volume all the way down. That doesn't impact it at all.
Nope.
All right,
Let me stop sharing.
no problem.
Let me share again. Share computer sound. Share.
You will try going to, you know, where it says mute, there's like a small arrow next to mute, and change the audio output. It's on, but you have to do it on Zoom. So you see the top where it says your view, Yoel Hernandez screen? Like hover over it and it'll drag down.
All right, you know what? We don't need thinking music. You can put your own thinking music on. It's all good.
Sorry, guys.
You don't have to be
You
sorry.
caught me
I
on the
put you on the spot. It's okay.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it one bit. So we have the
I'm
vision.
sorry I let you down, Eric.
You didn't let me down. I'm sorry I put you on the spot. I should have emailed you beforehand, but this was a last minute decision. This was poor project management. So now the next thing is values. What is most important to me in 2021? Bad example, my family is important. Well, that's kind of generic in general. A good example could be that being a loving, caring husband, father who sacrifices for his family. That's better. So you have your vision. What do I want to achieve? My values. What do I care about? There, can you guys hear that? Yoel, you hear it or no?
I do hear it, but thank goodness you guys didn't hear what I put because this was, I'm guessing it was not thinking music.
It's not this. Okay, well, it all worked out in the end, right?
To be honest.
All right, so take a minute to think about your next step. Step 3, my methods. What are my baby steps I need to do to achieve my goal? Bad example, I need to network. Good example, I will send a LinkedIn request to every person that I meet in the workforce, as well as a private message introducing myself. What are your baby steps that you're going to do to achieve your vision? All right, vision, values, methods, obstacles. What could derail my vision in 2021? Bad example, I spent too much time playing video games. Good example, video game overuse is a temptation for me, therefore I will only game on the weekends. What's your obstacle and how are you going to get over it? Don't fall asleep, Angie. All right, last question. Measures, how will I know I succeeded at the end of the year? So imagine it's November 24th, 2021. You're looking back at this list. How will you know that you were successful? So bad example, vague and ambiguous. I'm in better shape. Well, that's great. But what's better is I can run a 5K in 25 minutes and I can do 50 push-ups without stopping. So you want to make sure it's actionable, clear. So you think of that. We'll spend 1 minute enjoying these nice views. Whoop. Can you see that, Yoel, the screen? All right, so you just relax and think about your goals for this next year. Give you 15 more seconds. Take a deep breath if you need to. Imagine standing at the bottom of that waterfall with that cold water showering your head. How nice would that be? Or hiking this mountain. Maybe I missed my calling, Dondre. I should have been a motivational speaker. All right, let me turn this off before I fall asleep. And just to answer the question that was in the chat, do not have to share yours out. That's not going to be part of today's exercise. This is just for your eyes only. But I do want to ask a follow-up question. Why is what we just did, creating a V2MOM for our goals in 2021, how is that related to project management? Like I said in the beginning of this lecture, we're going to project manage our lives. So wait, what? How do you do that? Brian, what do you think?
Well, for one thing, since you're kind of giving yourself a time limit by the end of 2021, in a project, you have a certain start date and end date.
Yes, absolutely. So as opposed to saying my goal is to do this, well, when? Well, I don't know. Whenever it gets done, you have a clear start and end date. Dondre?
Brian said exactly what I was gonna say.
Well, I hate it when that happens. Ranish?
I was gonna say this is kind of similar to like a work breakdown structure. It's like kind of putting it all together, your obstacles, laying it all out, seeing what may come up along the way, see how you can mitigate the risks and failures.
Absolutely. Yeah, the obstacle piece is so important. We talked about in the IT class, somebody put their goal was to, go to the gym 5 days a week. And I said, well, what's your obstacle? He goes, well, what happens if the gym's closed down because of COVID? It's like, well, yeah, that definitely would put a damper on things, wouldn't it? But if you know that in advance that this is a potential obstacle, then you're prepared for it if and when it does happen. The gym closes down, therefore I'm going to work out in the park, or I'm going to, buy some equipment for my apartment, whatever needs to be done. Thanks for Nish. You well?
What I said was that because we couldn't write like something so simple and it had to be a bit more detailed, it actually made us think of something feasible and not something just in the moment.
Yes. Plus the music helped, right? The thinking music.
Yeah, sure.
That's actually what I listen to when I'm like grading or like lesson planning. I don't know why, I just find it so relaxing and so soothing. It's like going to the spa. So yeah, for sure. You want to make sure that you have some details. If a person's goal, you guys saw the video, 8% of people who make a resolution will complete it. So that means you make a New Year's resolution that you have literally less than a 1 in 10 chance of actually completing it. And I know I've been guilty of that. Like, this is the year I'm going to get out of debt. This is the year I'm going to get a new job. This is the year I'm going to fill in the blank. And then guess what? 12 months go by, nothing's changed. So having details helps. Rinish.
I feel like the average goal setting procedure that all the individuals in the world follow is kind of played out. Look at 8%. 8%. Look at those statistics. That kind of don't work. I feel like there needs to be a little change.
Yeah, I agree. I think the change is what we just did. I think a lot of people, you say, well, what's your goal for 2021? Oh, I want to lose weight. Okay, well, how much weight do you want to lose? I don't know. How are you going to do it? I don't know. You're going to start exercising? I don't think so. You can change your diet? Probably not. It's like, well, then good luck, So I think, and I've been guilty of that, having like a goal that's just so ambiguous and so vague. Or the other side of the coin where it's like, I haven't ran since college. I'm going to run a marathon this March. It's like, well, slow down there, dude. Maybe you want to start off with the 5K and then work your way up. So having baby steps for sure is important. Angie, your objectives are important because without steps, you can get nowhere. What do you mean by that, Angie?
Well, in a project plan, you have to create objectives, which are the little steps. So for me, it's like if you want to escalate a mountain, you will have to find out which equipment and then have a plan B just in case something happens. So I feel like it's important for us. It's okay, like it's good that you have a goal, but the steps are actually important because if you don't do them, then you're never gonna get there.
Absolutely, Angie, you're 100% right. And just like in project management, right? Do you guys remember the exercise, the work breakdown structure? You had objectives, you had small steps that you're going to get to achieve your goal. Same with this exercise as well. Good observation, Angie. Sophia?
Yeah, I also just thought of like the baby steps. It kind of reminds me of when we talked about tiny habits, like a tiny habit. We had a workshop in Vanessa's class where like if you establish little like tiny habits, it's kind of like baby steps, but it'll be easier to like establish a habit or like a routine, which will then be easier to achieve your goals.
Yeah, Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, having those baby steps to achieve your goal is so important, for sure. So I want you guys to take a moment to think. You have tomorrow off, you have Thursday off, you have Friday off, you have Saturday off, and you have Sunday off. And you can do one of two things. You could just, take it easy, chill, enjoy your time with your family as you should, right? Or you can take what we just started with today. It's just a start. We spent about 5 minutes on it. You should be spending more time with that. I'm not going to give you more homework. This is completely up to you. But I would encourage you, take this document you started working on and add to it. You know, just what are some other goals that you want to set for yourself, or some other dreams you want to achieve? What's the problem, Jose Rivera, of making a goal on December 31st at 11:52 p.m.?
What's the problem with making a goal at the end of the year?
Like literally the last 10 minutes of the year, like, oh shoot, I want to make a goal for myself. What's wrong with that?
I don't know. Most people don't accomplish their resolutions. I
Yeah,
think January is like the time like most people sign up for the gym, but like by March, the people that actually show up like really goes down. So
yep, you're absolutely right. So they never made a plan and they never stuck to the plan. So they just was impulsive, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this, right? Excellent. So I want to encourage you. You know, we have 5 weeks left in 2020. Thank God. Hopefully 2021 is better for all of us. But just take some time. What am I going to do? These I have 5 days. You know, maybe you have a job, you have other obligations. I totally am cognizant of that. But take these, a little bit of time. I'm not going to ask you to deliver it because I know it's personal. But just think through what are some of the goals I want to make for myself, and that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. Real quick before we wrap up, midterm was this past weekend. I just want to share some quick information. Let me pull it up here. First things first, the class average for IO for this class here was an 85%. So great job to everybody who did well on that. You guys scored really well. I did get some feedback on one of the questions. The question people said was posed in a strange way. It was something to the effect of, since all people are the same, understanding the motivational factors of a person, it's not the job of a project manager. Every single person in this class scored that as a false, or as a true rather. They got it wrong, and I realized, oh, you know what? That was actually my fault because I worded it really strange. So I've actually deleted that question. So if you got that question wrong, which was every single one of us in this class, that was not your fault. That was my fault because I worded it a little bit weird. I'm like, you know what? Now that I go back and look at it, this question does not make any sense. So my apologies. Like I say many times to you all, Eric stays taking L's. I don't know what that means. So what I'm saying is, as your instructor, that most of the time I'll be right, but sometimes I'll just do things wrong, and I'll own to my mistakes and say, you know what, that was a mistake. I did not word that question correctly, so that question is removed. So all of your grades should, be bumped up a little tiny bit because of that. I did remove that question, but by and large, I think that you guys did really well. Having an 85% was great. Unfortunately, since we're talking about L's, 2 IT students got 100, and nobody in his class got 100. So take that for what it will, Mr. Hernandez. Dondre Inga, I'm sorry.
Two things. First of all, stop playing with Eric. Like he don't be taking L's. Big W's on the side. Stop playing with him. And I have a question about the letter to Rachel. Do we just send you like a Word document?
Correct. Yeah, that's our deliverable. That's going to be due tonight. Just like what we did with John, send a letter, a Word document in Schoology to me, because we don't want to send her 45 emails. That's be a little bit overwhelming. Be mindful of grammatical errors, punctuation. Thank her for coming. She is a very gifted communicator, a very in-demand speaker, and I'm not even going to tell you how much her time is worth, because let's just say an hour and a half of her coming to speak with us is very generous of her time, and she did not charge a penny for it. So please, what did you appreciate about it? What did you learn from it? How you're going to apply it into your internship and your career? I know it would mean a lot to her. And also, not only that, it's helpful for me too, because next year when class 30 is in session and I invite Rachel to come back, she'll remember, oh yeah, I remember those really nice letters that I received from the people that were in my previous one. I really enjoyed doing that. I'm going to do it again. So it's a win-win all around, because she feels encouraged, and it also helps me for future classes to have her share. By the way, did you guys enjoy that yesterday? Did you guys find that was interesting? Yeah, I thought it was really really well done. I think a lot
Wait,
of
so you don't want us to send her an email? You're saying?
no, you send it in Schoology. You submit it like it's a regular deliverable. But you're writing a letter to Rachel thanking her for coming.
Wait, yeah. So we put it in a Word doc and submit that to Schoology, but we don't send her an actual email. You're saying?
No.
Got
Put
it.
it in a Word doc, submit to Schoology. I save all of them, and I just email her, hey, this is a message from all the year participants saying thank you for, because it would just be too complicated for her to get 45 emails in a day or two. So I'm glad you guys enjoyed that. So that's your deliverable. And then any questions or comments on anything we discussed today before we wrap it up? Yeah, that was pretty fun, Angie. All right, Mr. Hernandez, you were an excellent assistant instructor. Can you please do me one last favor before we hang up? All right, read the rest of our deliverable. So it's thank you letter due to Rachel, and then.
All right, really quick before we go any further, I did it right, but my volume on Apple Music wasn't up, so that's why.
If you guys recall, didn't Eric say top right of the screen, put your volume up? Because no, that's not it. Take that L, Mr. Hernandez.
I thought you meant the volume on my.
It's
computer.
okay. It's all right.
Anyways, no class the rest of the week. Have a great Thanksgiving and see you Monday.
Have a great rest of the week, guys. See you Monday. Happy Thanksgiving and enjoy your time off. See you.
All right.
Thank you.